Hi, this is Dave. I'm your host. You're listening to the last podcast where the first shall be last and the last shall be first. If this is the first time you're listening, welcome. Thank you for finding us. I hope you enjoy the show. If you're returning, welcome back. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you continue to find tips, ideas, and value from listening to this podcast. We're going to be talking about being upset and how it affects us. But before we get into it, we'll be right back after this message. Hi, my name is Dave with The Last Podcast. Have you ever heard of Impact Health Sharing? Impact Health Sharing is an affordable alternative to traditional health insurance. Impact is a caring community of people who share in each other's medical bills, and is for anyone interested in sharing, acting responsibly together, and saving on healthcare. For more information, click on the link in the show notes that reads Impact Health Sharing. This is David with The Last Podcast. We'll see you soon. I'm going to start this off with a question. Have you ever been so angry that it lasted for hours or maybe even a whole entire evening into the next day? Yeah, that's the type of anger that we're talking about today. We're talking about being so angry that it literally destroys or takes a toll on your body. And being upset and holding a grudge can have significant negative impacts on your mental, emotion, and even physical well-being. Think about that for a moment. When was the last time you were upset? I mean, really upset. And some people, they get upset at the drop of the dime. And I believe that, some people just can't seem to get a control of their anger. I mean, they flip out on anyone or just for any little reason, and it just seems like this is their thing that they do. Sure, they can have a great time with people, they can laugh, but when they get angry and they get so upset that they hold on to it, and like a pit bull trying to hold on to something he's trying to grasp at. So think about this. If you have or ever been so angry and then you figure out, okay, I'm trying to go to bed. Next thing you know, you can't go to sleep because you're so angry. Now, being that you can't go to sleep, you're ready to disturb whoever it is that you're angry about or angry at. And you're trying to stir up more anger and more confusion and more disruptions, and all because you can't seem to settle down and let it go. Now, I have to be serious about something here. When I say settle down and let it go, okay, so everybody else or whatever you're angry at, or if you're angry with someone, if they have already let it go, the only person you're actually harming is yourself, because you're holding on to it. And you've given that person who harmed you or who upset you in any way, you're giving them power over you because you're still upset and they're moving on. They're not even thinking about it. So I know that being upset for so long, or being angry and you're trying to get sleep, or you're trying to go to sleep, or you're angry in the morning, imagine that. Sleeping a couple of hours and not getting well rested, and now you were angry the night before, and now you're angry in that new day. So your whole day is going to be shot because you done woke up angry. Now you're going to have an attitude. You're going to carry that attitude with you throughout the day, and it's going to get in your way, and you're going to be snapping at other people who don't deserve it. So I think being angry only harms you. And I think that holding on to a negative attitude or emotions can just lead to stress on your behalf, because the person or anything that you are, it doesn't even have to be a person that you're angry at. It could be something, or even yourself. for doing something. You just can't seem to let it go. You can't even, and I know there are people out there who can't seem to even forgive themselves. They've probably already forgiven another person, but they just can't seem to forgive themselves. So that's what I mean by let it go, because you're only harming yourself. You're only creating stress for yourself. And you think about it, there's a lot of health issues that come with stress. And your negative emotions and your attitudes, continuously dwelling on those negative feelings can lead to a persistent negative emotional state. This can result in feelings of sadness, anxiety, even depression, affecting your overall quality of life. That is what anger is about to get you, affecting your overall quality of life. And if you're holding a grudge against someone else, you can strain your relationship with others. If you're upset with someone and don't communicate or address the issue, it can lead to misunderstandings, distance, and even a breakdown in your relationships. And that's not something over something small. Have you ever been so upset where, upset and holding a grudge? Because this is two different things. Being upset and being upset long, that really is bad. But being upset and holding a grudge, those are two different things. And when you combine the two, that can go on for years. Now, have you ever done that and just couldn't really remember after time has passed what you guys were really arguing about or what put the strain? And when you think about it and you can remember it, as after time passed, you say, you know what? That didn't even make any sense to put that person out of my life for all those years. And one of the reasons I say that is when my father passed when I was around 20 years old, I actually did that. I actually have not talked to a specific, matter of fact, both my aunts, or even, both my aunts. And years went by, and it wasn't until my sister passed away in 2019 that I actually saw my aunts. And let me tell you something, I had a wonderful time with them. Not only that, I kept visiting my aunt. We were together for a couple of months while my sister was sick. And I had such a great time, and every morning looked forward to seeing her every day. So I was so angry at myself for all the lost time that I went through and all the lost relationships that I could have had because of my own anger. And believe it or not, I was young, and I was angry at my father passing, and how, I don't know, you guys will probably understand where I'm coming from when I say this. When a person passes, sometimes you have family who argue and bicker, and I have to walk away because I don't like it. I don't like when people are arguing, and up until this day, I rather walk away. If it's something that cannot, and I see it's not getting anywhere, now I learn how to walk away, because it makes no sense to continue to argue and you both are there not agreeing. So you're going to agree to disagree, so to speak, right? Well, those are the kind of grudges that I was talking about. If you ever had somebody in your life, a family member or a friend, and you guys had an argument and you decided to be so mad at them and hold a grudge and don't talk to them, and years pass, and when you finally see them and you decide that you matured enough that you decide to say, hey, bygones be bygones, I'm gonna bite the bullet, I'm gonna be the bigger person, and I'm just gonna say hi, reach out and say hello, how are you? And now that you both start to talk and realize that you miss each other's company or friendship or what have you, you realize that it was not worth all the time that you've lost. And that's why, that's another reason why I believe, let that go. If you're angry at somebody, and check yourself. let it go. Now, I can understand if they've done something that you can't let go. Yeah, that's fine. I understand that. But if it was something small, let it go. Let it go. And it's the same thing when people on their jobs. They get angry at a person, and it's 9 times out of 10 when you really check yourself, you say to yourself, you know what, I could have been a bit bigger person in that situation, and I could have diffused it, but no, I had to just instigate it, aggravate it, and now the whole incident blew up, and now we're both not talking. And we were good friends, we were good co-workers, we worked good together, the same thing. So I believe holding a grudge really would strain all your relationships, depending on who you're holding a grudge with and being angry at in the first place. So I think that's something that you would want to definitely do. And the easiest way to not hold the grudge, and there are some people who will actually talk about a situation to anyone who would listen. They want to tell you why they were so angry, and it was 45 years ago, 10, 20 years ago, and they still want to talk about that one incident to anyone who would listen, how they were bothered, or how their life was destroyed by this person, or how they lost a job due to another employee, or whatever the case may be. It could be any small thing. So when you think about that, you say, well, I've been in that position. Have you ever been the bigger person and said, I'm gonna let this go, but I really enjoyed that person's company up until this moment, but I'm gonna be the bigger person and say, hey, how are you? And the reason why I say that is because I had an argument with my sister when I was around 22 or 24, somewhere around that. And we went without talking for each other for years. And I had to say, because I miss my sister, and I know my sister knows how to hold a grudge for life. Her and my mother, they both will hold a grudge to the bitter end and will not let go. But I knew that. And one day, I thought about how she did not talk to my mother, and my mother didn't talk to her or me. I realized something. They can hold grudges for a long time, but I love them. I'm going to be the bigger person and try to make peace. I was able to make peace with my sister, who since passed away, but we had a great relationship. We were extremely close. My mother, on the other hand, no. And I could tell you, I'll be perfectly transparent with you on this. I was around 11 years old and wanted to go live with my father. And my mother said, if you go live with your father, you're no longer my son. She kept that all the way up until this very day. And I tried even last year to talk with her, and the person who answered the phone and was explaining to me that she didn't really want to talk. I'm not her son. I was like, wow, after all those years, you're talking 50 years, she still felt the same way. So holding a grudge and being angry, you got to check yourself. You got to let that go, because that only harbors ill feelings for you. And it only gives you an opportunity to wind up having more stress in your life, and physical health issues. Your emotions contribute to your physical ailments because you can't seem to let that anger go. Now, sometimes people have a anger problem. Their sleep is disturbed, and did you know that you can even develop cardiovascular disease over a long period or a long-term period, just from constantly being angry? Because you're building stress within your body, and that stress, it comes with all kind of ailments. So you got to think about that. And being upset or holding on to a grudge can cloud your judgment. and your decision-making abilities. So think about that. You may have made a choice based on your emotional state rather than a rational thinking, and potentially leading to more problems down the line. And yeah, you make a decision, and that decision ultimately will change the course of your life. So try not to be angry for a long period of time, whether it's at something you've done or whether somebody has done something to you that wasn't really terrible. I mean, I can understand that, but let the anger go. And sometimes, even if you hold the anger in at somebody that done something terrible to you, sometimes it's good to forgive them so you can get on with healthier living. And that is pretty much what I got for you today. So if you are holding on to your grudges, you're constantly being angered, or you're easily angered, you need to not look at the situation. You need to check yourself. So you got to do a couple of things, because I believe if you're being angry all the time, you got to start looking at your self-esteem too. There might be something that's going on there. Negative experiences in your life can lead to feelings of helplessness and inadequacy. Over time, this can erode your self-esteem down the road. So that's another thing you want to take a look at. So guys, my name is Dave, and I'm just going to name a couple of things before I let go, before I end this. Why, and one of the reasons why you should stop trying to hold anger or harbor ill feelings toward others, or even holding grudges, is because by doing so, you can wind up with headaches. You can wind up with insomnia. You'll build up more anxiety. You might even get into depression, even high blood pressure, or heart attack or stroke. So you think about it. What's best for you to be healthier? Not being angry. So that's why laughing more will help your health, and being angry will harm your health. So my name is Dave, and you're listening to the last podcast. If you want to reach out to me, you can basically do that at the last podcast 443@gmail.com. Again, I'll be here tomorrow, and thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming back, and you have a